Good morning, my name is Rayhan Khan and welcome to Supercar Life. Today what we're going to do is add an exhaust valve controller to the R8. What that means is we're going to have a button that's now going to be controlling it, and my friends at KLINE Innovation were nice enough to go ahead and send me one. So let's get to it. So let's do a quick unboxing to see exactly what we get in the kit. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see what we get in it. So you get the box, and of course you get a couple manuals. KLINE's nice enough to make it look real nice when they package this stuff. The main coolest part about this kit is the button. So this is what everyone's after. Here's the cigarette lighter button that you plug into your cigarette lighter and lights up blue when the valve exhaust controller is activated, or once it activates the solenoids. The other things you get in this kit are the actual wiring harness. So to plug and play, which is the main reason I wanted this. The other thing is I actually have an exhaust that's from KLINE, and my previous one messed up, so they come with the 4-year warranty. So they went ahead and sent me a new kit for the valve controller. So plug and play harness, and it looks like you also get an extra relay, reverse polarity adapter. It says please do not install unless instructed by KLINE Innovations themselves. I don't think I'm going to use this, but in my mind what I think is basically if you want to reverse how the light works. So if you plug this in, that means this exhaust is activated when maybe the light's turned off, or not sure exactly what that is, but definitely not plugging that in since I didn't get instructed to. So let's go ahead and install this into the car, and it's plug and play, so let's see how easy it is. So installing this kit is pretty straightforward, like I said earlier. The main thing you need to do is take off all your panels, or actually not even all. You gotta take off this specific panel itself, the one that is on the passenger side of the car, and that requires a couple screws. So this one's actually carbon fiber. I opted for the carbon fiber package, something I really wanted. So you gotta be super careful when you take these off because it requires flatheads and they'll slip on the screw, and you don't want to scratch anything up. So basically you have a couple screws. You got 1, 2, 3, fourth one up here, then 5, and then 6. You got 6 screws you gotta take off. So you unscrew those screws, then you gotta disconnect the hydraulic right here. It's a simple little clamp that you just pull out and pop it right out, and when you disconnect it you have to have something supporting the hood. So let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and take off some of the screws, and then I'll go ahead and disconnect this, and then we'll mark it up. So basically, we've already taken the screws out. So once you loosen these up, they stay in their specific areas, which is great. It's kind of hard to get to this one. So I went ahead and kind of found a flat object, found a wrench that's actually pretty flat. It actually fits right into that groove, and you can start using that. The problem with these screws, the biggest thing is they are very wide compared to a normal flathead, so you have a chance of slipping, which is what you want to avoid. When you get to the hydraulics for the rear hatch, basically, or the trunk, however you want to call it, the engine bay, you want to stick a plier in here and pull this out or down or remove it. It's basically just holding that into here. So there we go. You got it going a little. I kind of like to get it halfway with just so it's stuck, not in its spot, but close enough. And then you can pull out the bottom portion right there and put a support. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that you have the screws removed, you have the hydraulic that holds the engine bay hood up removed, and you have the support and spot, what you want to do is slowly remove the carbon fiber or whatever engine cover you have. It could be plastic or it could be carbon. In order to do that, you really don't want this scratching up anything, especially since I have carbon. So I'm going to tape this up with the glass. Okay, so we got that taped up. So what I'm going to do is slowly go ahead and remove it. Now you're going to want to now remove this cap and put it back as soon as you remove the carbon fiber or whatever cover you have, so that we can prevent debris from going into here. So it's quick. You might have to wiggle a little here and there to get some of the screws to kind of pop out of the groove. And here we go. And then avoid hitting any of the pieces. And we're good to go. So now one thing you want to remember is before you completely take it apart, I have LEDs in the engine bay. So if you have LEDs, you're going to want to disconnect them at this point. And it's a simple pull out. So just got to disconnect that wire that's holding them in spot. And then this should completely just come right out. Go ahead and put this somewhere safe so that you don't get it scratched up or broken. Alright, so now that we have it removed, the next step is to go ahead and remove this component right here. So what this does is it holds the solenoid for the vacuum air. So the way the R8 works is there's a vacuum up in the front of the, let's call it a hood. There's a vacuum over there near the front bumper. It sends a continuous vacuum, comes into these three balls or these chambers right here, creates a vacuum, and that continuously goes to the exhaust valves and basically closes the valves. There's a solenoid right in here that says, okay, block the vacuum, and what it'll do is it'll prevent the exhaust from closing or the valves from closing. So that's what we want to do. We want to trick the solenoid right here. So let's go ahead and take our Torx right here. I think it is a T25 or T20. It's actually a T27. That's what fits with mine. So let's go ahead and use that. remove these two screws real quick. Alright, let's remove these two screws real quick. They shouldn't really be that tight, to be honest with you. Okay, and then this piece should pull right out. And once you pull it out, here's your solenoid. So what you want to do next is actually remove the metal bracket from the solenoid. It's not that difficult. You have to kind of, again, wiggle it a little back and forth. This piece comes out. So now you're left with this. And what you want to do now is disconnect you might have to stick a flathead in there to get it to disconnect. So here's our KLINE Innovation exhaust valve controller kit. It's a plug and play, so basically one end goes directly into your solenoid, which will be right here. Click that in. The other end goes into what originally connected to your solenoid, so this piece right here. Now once those two pieces are connected, you should be good to go. You can go ahead and start up your car. You might want to just put these in a couple safe spots for now as you test it out, and go ahead and start up your car. Wait for it to fully heat up. Once it fully heats up, then you can start using it. Again, in cold start, it's going to keep the exhaust valves open, but once it passes cold start and actually heats up properly, then you can start using the button in the front. So let's go ahead and go to the front, put in the new KLINE Innovation button, and see how well it works. Has settled down a little, it's heated up, the revs have gone down, it's not idling as high anymore. We can go ahead and push the button and use the button to see if it controls our exhaust valves. Now, one of the things about this button is that it takes up a cigarette lighter spot, so in an R8 you only have one spot, and then on top of that, you can only use it when the car has fully heated. So you cannot be starting your car with your solenoids or your valves in a closed position to have a cold start be quiet. That's just not possible with this kit. So let's go ahead and push the button and see how it works. So that's the install on the exhaust valve controller for the R8, specifically the KLINE Innovation one. It's plug and play, pretty straightforward. As you can hear, you can control your exhaust nodes at this point. So now we're just gonna go ahead and go undo everything and reinstall basically the covers and put the panels back on. If you like videos like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. We'll definitely be doing some more stuff on here, so definitely like.